Some stories you hear are they feel almost impossible, right? They really push the limits of what you think a person can achieve with just pure determination. Well, today we're diving into one of those stories, the absolutely incredible journey of Dr. DNS Dhakal, all the way from a tiny village in Bhutan to the world-famous halls of Harvard. And it all kicks off with this simple but incredibly powerful idea. This wasn't just some casual wish. For his family, this was a mission statement. It was the guiding star for the entire remarkable path that we're about to follow. So, where does a dream like this even begin? Well, it's not in a bustling city or a place of privilege. No, it starts in about the humblest setting you can imagine. We're talking about a world away from the life he would eventually build. This was a place where just getting by was a daily struggle, and the very idea of higher education, well, it must have seemed like it was from another planet. This quote, wow, it just lays out this powerful contrast, doesn't it? He talks about not even having proper clothes, a really stark picture of poverty. But in the same breath, he says the desire to study was immense. It just shows you, right from the start, he wasn't focused on what he didn't have. He was focused on what he craved, knowledge. But, that hunger for knowledge? It was about to get a serious, serious reality check. For a young Dhakal, getting an education wasn't as simple as hopping on a bus. No, for him, it was a daily pilgrimage. 1.5 hours. Think about that for a second. That's how long he walked just to get to school. And that was just one way. Can you imagine that commitment? 3 hours of walking every single day just for the chance to sit in a classroom and learn. And look, he wasn't doing this all on his own. While his father gave him the dream, his mother, she gave him the strength for the day-to-day grind. Her blessing wasn't just a word, it was the fuel in his tank, the thing that kept him going on that long, tough road. It turned a grueling walk into a journey of hope. So that walk, that 3-hour round trip every single day, it was so much more than just getting from point A to point B. It was basically his training ground for life. Every single step was a lesson in how to push through, how to be resilient, a lesson that would define the rest of his life. And all that perseverance, it paid off big time, and it laid the groundwork for the next chapter of his life. The boy who walked for hours every day didn't just finish school. He started to build a real professional career. You can see his path laid out here, and it's pretty incredible. He makes it through high school, gets a degree in mining engineering, and by 1983, he's got a government job as a junior engineer. I mean, by any measure, he'd already won, right? But then, something happens. A conference he attends completely changes his perspective. He had the stable career, the success his family could only have dreamed of. But something was missing. He felt this pull, this calling to do something more, something bigger than just building mines. He wanted to build societies, and he knew his journey had to take a new turn. And that new direction? Well, it pointed him toward, of all places, one of the most famous, most respected universities on the entire planet. And this is where the story just gets unbelievable, right? I mean, really, could a boy who walked for hours every day from a dirt-poor village in Bhutan actually make it to the Ivy League? The distance between that dirt path and the lawns of Cambridge, Massachusetts, it's just mind-boggling. And he did it. He absolutely did it. Against all the odds you could possibly imagine, Dr. DNS Dhakal got into Harvard University. That dream his father had in that small village, it had just landed on the world stage. And he didn't just go to Harvard to say he went to Harvard. He went with a real mission. He enrolled for a master's in public administration at the Kennedy School. Basically, it's a degree for people who want to learn how to solve the big problems society faces. This was him answering that call to serve. Okay, so getting to Harvard is one thing, and it's absolutely incredible. But what's maybe even more powerful is the wisdom he picked up along the way, and the lessons he's sharing with all of us now. This right here, this quote, really tells you everything you need to know about how he sees the world. For him, education isn't some trophy you put on a shelf for yourself. It's a tool, and it comes with a responsibility. Its real value only comes when you use it to help other people. So, you might be asking, how on earth did he pull all this off? Well, he actually boils it all down to 2 simple things. First, a positive mental attitude. You gotta believe it's possible. And second, that good old perseverance. The same grit he learned on that long walk to school, he just applied it to every single obstacle he ever faced. And this really frames it perfectly, doesn't it? On one hand, you've got the common idea of success. Get rich, buy stuff. It's measured by what you have. But Dr. Dhakal's view, it's all about social contribution. It's measured by what you give. For him, it wasn't even a choice. And he takes it even a step deeper. It's not just about what you do. It's about how you see life itself. He calls it a spiritual journey, where real wealth has nothing to do with your bank account. It's about letting go of all the stuff that just doesn't really matter in the end. So when you hear a story like this, it kind of has to make you think, right? His whole life leaves us with this one big question. He always had a why, his father's dream, his call to serve. So the question he leaves for us is, what's your why? What's the thing that keeps you going when the road gets long?